Welcome out to another episode of It's All Been Tricked Before. This time, the Empath. Or is it Empath? Tell us how you say it. You're going to hear us say it 60, 70 times in this episode. And we'll come to some kind of middle ground, probably, but keep saying both. Other things to check out. There's no question on how to pronounce this. It's All Been Done, a Bare Naked Ladies podcast. Yeah, if you have a vague remembrance of the Bare Naked Ladies, or BNL as the guys in the know call them, from the late 90s and early aughts, you are in good company. Join friends Evan and Saker, right? Saker, as they hastily stumble through every single Bare Naked Ladies song 1 week at a time from the first album to the last, driving themselves insane along the way. They just got started. They're not very far along, so you can get in on this, check out those tracks, learn about BNL, go along with these guys while they do it. Also, somebody else, one of our newest, other bestest buddies, the Squatch Smashers. We know that a lot of audio drama podcasts feature a Monster Hunter host, his vampire co-host, a stylish steampunk murder bot named Jenny, and Elvis as a necromancer. But Squatch Smashers Comedy Podcast likes to think that it stands out from the others, in that they also have an old guy in a wheelchair. So, if you want to spin on the old Monster Hunter and vampire co-host, check out the Squatch Smashers here on IABD. Part of IABD, go to IABDpresents.com, part of the IABD network. Also, support us, patreon.com/IABD. Go there, donate, get special rewards, get to hear things before the rest of the universe hears them, and get on the skinny. What's going down with the entire IABD system? It's a system. It's a system now. This is Star Trek. Systems come, systems go. In the meantime, check out the Empath here on It's All Been Trekked Before.
Welcome out to another episode of It's All Been Trekked Before. This week we have...
This is Steven.
Keith.
Jimmy-Jerome, and...
Hi, it's Marianne.
Yay, Marianne has returned for what she says is the best episode of Star Trek ever.
Okay, season 3 here.
Oh, best
Let's not be overreaching here.
I mean, she said it was better than the best of both worlds. It was better than All Good Things. It was better than...
So, yeah, this is one that because I watched all of them with my mom back in the day. I distinctly remember this one, and I remember loving it, and I remember being all of the emotions I had back then. I had this time, and I wrote them down because I was like, "This is the same." I remember an unsatisfactory ending to this, and we got to the ending, and I was like, "Yes, I remember," because I remember going to Mom like, "What happened? Why? This is not an ending."
Yep, it is.
And we're...
Can we get the elephant in the room out of the way?
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of dancing around the titular line there. You're saying how much you relate to this and how much you feel about it.
Oh, because it's the empath.
Yes.
And so, once again, empath is being used as like a general term. I mean, and we have an empath in Next Generation, Deanna Troi.
And she can't heal people.
She can't heal people, and they just assume like,
she doesn't want to.
She's an empath. Boom. Therefore, she can do all these things.
So I looked up the definition of empath, and it looks like it is chiefly used in science fiction. It's not like a term that has an agreed upon definition. But generally, a person with a paranormal ability to apprehend the mental or emotional state of another individual.
Yeah.
So the definition that's mainly agreed upon doesn't involve healing. And
Deanna Troi, yeah.
But if you look at the chart of when it was used, it wasn't really used until, I don't know, what's that look like, 80s, 90s?
Mm-hmm.
So
Probably because of Deanna Troi.
Yeah. So back when this episode was made in 1968, there was not a definition for what an empath is. So I guess we have to look at it through that lens of now we know what an empath is in our minds, or we've agreed upon what an empath is. But in the 60s, they hadn't agreed upon what an empath is.
In 2268, they didn't know.
Well, in 2268, they have a whole different definition.
Yeah.
Because language changes, and that's many years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, it can heal people now.
Sure,
if anything,
why not?
But then when Troy comes around, they're like, whoa, back it up now.
She's a different kind of empath.
Now she's only
different kind.
And she's only half, remember? So.
No, she's half telepath. Because betazoids are telepathic.
That's right.
And because she's half human, she's only empathic.
Oh, that's right. I love the betazoids. They're so fun.
Yeah, especially they get married naked, which is kind of funny.
Like,
we'll get to that in Next Generation times. Plenty to say about the betazoids then. But the empath, first impressions, we kind of danced around it. Did you love it? Did you hate it?
I saw the parts that I remembered liking a lot, and then I saw the parts that I remembered not liking as much. Kind of like Marianne was saying. There are parts like I think the like that Kirk Spock McCoy triangle or whatever is so strong here, and then the interplay with those guys is really well done. The setup is a little. It's another advanced quote unquote species trying to figure stuff out by testing our crew members and Catherine Hayes as the Jim.
Catherine Hayes being the actress.
Yes.
Jem, who would eventually form a band with the holograms.
Right.
That's a different spelling.
She's super awesome.
Oh, it is. It's J, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a G.
But I liked it. I don't know that I love it, but I liked it. Like I said, I can remember. I can see why this episode is highly regarded because those scenes with those three are really, really great.
So Catherine Hayes, this is what she's second best known for.
Yeah, she's best known for
As the World Turns, where she had 1,500 episodes.
Yeah,
from the 1972 through 2010. So
that's what I remember about watching this episode the first time. I was watching
she's still around
with my mom, and she's on my soap opera. And that's I was like,
but she was on this first.
She was.
They ripped it off. No. I think I was telling Marianne before we started that when I was little and I discovered Star Trek, the movies were readily available to me, but the show wasn't really. There were episodes on VHS, but I was a kid. I couldn't shell $20 for 2 episodes.
Makes sense.
And the library only had a few in stock, but one they had was a tape of The Empath and For the World is Hollow and I Have Touched the Sky. So those were my introduction to Star Trek, and I probably watched them a whole bunch of times because they were the only.
So you thought every episode was kind of about McCoy.
I mean, yeah. No, I mean
that main character McCoy, he's awesome.
McCoy was kind of like my favorite character back then, so this could have been a contributing factor. However, I definitely had a positive impression of this. I still liked it, but I grimaced a lot at some of the sexism and the inconsistencies in the premise.
There's some issues there.
I mean,
today or as a kid?
Today.
Okay.
No, today. Yes, as a kid, I was very woke. Before anybody used that term. No, I think the biggest inconsistency for me was this alien race can only save one alien race. Mm-hmm. They're not going to save themselves. Because why? So I assume they have several labs with several different specimens, and luckily some people showed up that they could use as test subjects.
Yeah.
Pure coincidence.
Yeah.
And then they were testing on who had the compassion for others or whatever while having no compassion themselves. So the whole thing just doesn't make sense to me.
Comes out of Kirk's speech at the end when he's like, "Oh, human, blah blah blah."
Right.
But
then I guess the other side of that is there's so many people that we encounter in real life who vote against their own interest and don't know what they're talking about and say one thing and mean another, that my first instinct is to go, this doesn't make sense, but my second instinct is to go, well, we just don't understand their mindset because there's plenty of people like that.
It's fair. And I never understand why they were kind of like, well, we have to do this, doctor. We're really sorry. This is the only way. I'm like, how advanced are you that this is the only way is by torturing someone almost to death?
Well, and how does it save her planet that she learned to sacrifice her life?
That was the biggest premise that annoys me whenever they do this in sci-fi series or fantasy anime is hang everything up on one person. What happens if you pick a bad egg?
Well, it's the thing we talk about in the other episodes too, which is like all planets are homogeneous. Everyone on that planet is exactly the same.
Yeah.
So is everyone on that planet an empath?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're all mutant.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of talked about that it looked like her species was all mutant. And they all have the instinct to not save people until they're exposed to people. And then if she can develop them, then surely...
So how does that work on their world? They have no ambulances or police or anything?
They see people dying, they're just like,
oh wow.
That's what I can do.
Wish I could help.
Even though I can heal people.
Yeah, it's a weird skill. We all have the skill, but
we don't know how to use it.
This episode works on an emotional level, not an intellectual level.
It does, yeah,
This
exactly.
Where to go back to a Marianne's Macabre movie review reference is...
Marianne's Macabre movie review? What's that?
It's a podcast that I have. We have...
Oh, really?
Where we normally...
Do tell.
Yes. Well, there was an episode...
It's actually not called that anymore,
Oh, yeah, no. It's Marianne's Macabre Review.
Okay, gotcha.
But they're in the Quiet Place. where there's another one where the premises doesn't hold up. This is where the writer comes in and says, "Okay, stick with me here," and then starts out with the premise.
Yeah,
that's back to Steve Lichtman.
That's a really good insight. You know, you should bring your podcast over to a network.
I should.
Like It's All Been Done Presents.
I think I will.
Okay, great, excellent.
Boom, done.
But that's
But go ahead and do it retroactively
Yeah,
when we
right.
started last year.
Right.
Okay.
But I was going to say that I guess I get to be the devil's advocate here, yay, for the for
Because the
these
devil
For the
needs
viands?
an advocate.
yeah for the buy-ins. First of all, if you are, I don't know, I guess there must be some limitation that they have, but they're probably saving themselves and someone else.
that's what I took it.
So
Oh,
I
maybe we can
I
make
would-
that clear.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
think that
That's how I read it.
In their view, they're being compassionate by even saving anyone at all, and they have to make sure that if you can only pick one thing,
They don't want to screw it up.
find some sort of test that you have to administer dispassionately because this is the risking everyone, either somebody or everybody
I
goes.
think,
But they're not sophisticated. They could just like look at satellite imagery from.
That's always my thing. That's my thing. It's like it just always makes me think of the Superman 2 when the Zod and all them destroy all these buildings and Gene Hackman comes through as like Lucifer, like all this accumulated knowledge and these dummies don't know how to use a doorknob. And it's just the same kind of thing. It's like, and I know that's kind of the point. Is like, oh, they're so advanced they can't remember what it's like to feel or whatever. It's like,
But they remember the feeling's important.
Right. So, but also to getting to the other thing about the bad egg thing. So, if you're using what seems to them probably as being the fairest possible way to do this would be a lottery system, and even if it's not, I mean, even if you think of it as being something that is too reliant on chance, you would also say that if you're such an advanced or a worthy race that we're saving, then there shouldn't be a bad egg, or the baddest egg among you would be worth redemption.
or
of
I
some
guess the
sort.
scientific
Or-
method would say they would get a representative sample of the planet,
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
and then
So they
you would also
actually
do
had
that.
a bunch of labs per species.
yeah,
You would think
exactly.
that.
And man, starships just kept flying in. They just kept taking them all.
Yeah.
Did they ever?
They probably saw the Enterprise like, oh my god, this could fill up like 400 labs.
Yes, we got this now. We just have
I mean,
Gem and then all of our holograms and other places.
couldn't have just given them all the
Jim's
Meyer-Briggs
holograms.
test and figured it out from that?
Yes.
What was the question?
They could have just given them all the Meyer-Briggs test and figured out.
Yeah. This is a good person right there.
Oh,
We're
man.
done.
Did they ever indicate exactly how Jim got captured or selected or whatever?
No.
Nope, not a word.
So
Yeah, what
So
is it?
yeah, this episode's good. Just don't think about it very much.
Yes,
exactly.
it's very fair.
So
Which honestly makes it better than some season 3 episodes.
Oh,
I'm still not putting this at the bottom of season 3.
no.
we're like
But at the top.
right in the middle. We're right in the middle of season 3. So
We are, and
Yeah.
we're not
things
to
will,
rankings
the good
yet,
stuff
but
will start coming up.
My guess is
Yeah.
this will land in the middle somewhere, but we'll get to that in a minute.
So Scotty's hair is awesome once again, even though it's so inconsistent. From like last episode, we had beginning of the episode he had good hair, middle of the episode he had bad hair. Now this one he had good hair again through the entire time.
Since you mentioned Scotty, I remember you pointing out the hair during the episode when they were waving by the shuttle, basically calling out, "Hey, look, we're a mirage," just with it smiling for no reason. Hey, hey guys, we're happy to see you.
That seemed like great lengths to go to. Well, I guess they were going to great lengths all along with it.
Yeah.
Their testing.
Saving people.
So what was that? So that was what to make them.
See, they saved Gem for part, because the humans were.
Why couldn't she walk?
I don't know either. I
She
conflated.
I mean, when they got out on the surface.
Yeah.
Oh, so I think she was still drained from having saved.
Oh,
I was
One-
conflating this with another one where the woman at the end could only be saved, was being kept healthy by the planet or by these aliens, and then she had boiled all over her face. And
Yeah.
so she has to stay here. So I figured, I was like, oh, well, this is this one.
Oh, it's
but it's
yeah,
not.
It's
yeah.
similar to. It's
Yeah.
similar to the. There's big headed
Which one was
aliens.
that?
The Cage or the Menagerie.
Yeah.
Oh, right, the first
Yeah.
one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I was like, oh, well, this is she's sick actually, so that's why she has to stay. And then halfway through, I was like, no, that's not it.
I thought I liked what Catherine Hayes did overall. Getting back to not walking, being able to walk. But like she had a certain gait even before she went up on the surface. I noticed like it wasn't. It was a weird
She moved like a dancer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I thought for not being able to talk, for the most part, she didn't overdo like I'm going to be super, super expressive to
Yeah.
show you that I'm being.
Yeah.
She only
Good
did
job.
charades like the one little time. So I thought And the soft focus, of course.
The soft focus. My goodness. Every time, it was not just soft focus at her face. It was soft focus at her face, like 2 inches from her face. And it was right here. I was like, oh my gosh, what is Lord of the Rings? I mean,
but I thought she portrayed it really well. That and with the makeup and the hair and the outfit, like, oh yeah, she is an alien race. You know, I complain. I know a lot about. Everyone's a humanoid every alien is a humanoid, and she obviously is. But I thought I liked what she did to make it very compelling.
I thought she was really awesome with her movements, and especially when like I don't want to touch this guy because I know it's gonna hurt me. But I made a comment to Keith, and he made me write it down. Was she touches everybody like her nails are wet? Like, I don't want to touch you because my nails are wet.
But it's like when she's caressing their face and so forth, she has. It's a very it's like a hand model. She's just very much like a look at this.
Oh, look at my hand.
If that was even her, come to think of it, because they would do the reverse angles of like you just see hands on his face. They cut back to her. It's just the close up on her face, and her head isn't even moving like it would be while she's doing it. So keeps kind of
but
they didn't have money for stunt doubles.
Well, I thought there was a stunt double when they were hanging the guy.
Well, yeah. They had
because they went Kirk went from here.
Yeah, like
gotcha.
From the back, he was sort of like the crucifix pose.
That makes sense.
Like arms straight out, and then they cut back to him. His arms are almost.
Shatner was like, I can't hold it. Sorry.
I thought it just reminded me of old school when Vince Vaughn is on the rings, the gymnastic rings, and he's got the cigarette in his mouth. Still holding.
I definitely felt there were a couple of moments of Shatner hero in this.
Oh yeah.
Where clearly, like when they all get caught at the beginning of the episode, Shatner lasts way longer to get caught, which doesn't make any sense for technology, but seems like something Shatner would demand from the part.
Well, he's got that human spirit that's strong.
And clearly he lost the battle to be the one that's the focus at the end.
Right.
Yeah. They're like, no, it's McCoy's turn. You've done the last 20 episodes in a row. And somebody else.
And also getting out of the trap at the end. Where
Spock got out first.
Yeah, the first explanation they give, as soon as, like, for some reason, they would voluntarily tell, this is how it works.
Yeah.
If you struggle, it gets stronger. They just keep struggling. Well, they struggle a little bit less, but they don't think to just, maybe if I just don't move at all, I can just kind of...
That was the one thing that I was like, I can't seem to stand up. Dude, you're standing up.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that was...
It was attributed to bad script. It said in IMDb.
A poorly executed script in the sense of, hey, if he says this, shouldn't he be like, who cares?
Yeah, there was definitely some moments of bad Shatner in this episode, but good Shatner too.
Yeah,
sure.
So.
There was the line where both races, the Coneheads and Star Trek.
I didn't think they were the Coneheads. They were just reminding me of the Talosians a lot from the cage.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of this episode reminded me of the cage. But inferior.
They kept, when they would talk to each other, they'd lean their foreheads together, and I kept thinking of Coneheads, how they were.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I was like,
I didn't see the throbbing veins like the Talosians, though. So.
I actually like the Vians. I mean,
I did
as an interesting. Yeah, I like the actors. I like the voices.
I'll give you that.
Law was Alan Bergman.
Alan
and Than was Willard Sage.
Yeah.
I don't know who either of those two
There's
are.
a comment I have down here. There's a combination
I haven't finished my sentence.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
That's what we do.
Of Stevens and Marianne's on the subject about the Vians. The stage manager alien. When they do the thing, essentially.
Point.
Like,
click.
Yeah, his gun had gotten taken away, so the other guy just held out his...
Like he didn't know to do it.
...quarter or something like that. Okay, now.
Both actors best known for this episode's Star Trek. Really?
I mean, I don't think they were dubbed in. I like the voices.
No.
So they both said, "We don't interfere." But the one
all
guy, the one guy's forgot their names already.
Lal and Than.
Yeah, all they're doing is interfering, and Star Trek, they wouldn't have an episode if they didn't interfere. They'd be like, bye guys.
Yeah.
I was going to say that...
I kind of wanted when the one finally went over to kill them, the other one to go, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah.
At the end, they're being all advanced and scientific, explaining, there will be no interference. You can't do blah, 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 because we're doing this. And they're explaining it all right in front of her, which is like the most... destructive thing you could do to the integrity of the test.
Yeah.
Have her present for the explanation of why the test is happening.
So that was the other thing is mute doesn't mean deaf, and they kept assuming that. I'm like, why? What? At the very beginning, they kept doing that, but then Kirk finally was like, "I will talk to you."
It certainly felt like they talked to her at points.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Maybe
So I'm like,
the idea was that she didn't understand spoken language because she didn't use it, or
Well,
I guess that would make sense
if her whole race was mute.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
But you would think they would have some other way to communicate then.
Sure.
Well,
Like-
this is the second straight episode where somebody just had a pen and
Pen
paper.
and
pen and
paper.
paper, yeah,
I wrote
here we
that
go.
down too.
Problem solved.
Why don't
Yeah.
we have someone to write?
oh yeah, I understand writing. I just don't understand speech. I understand English.
Right.
So he says, "We're not going to hurt you," but he's pointing a gun right
Right.
at her. Like, how about you lower the gun,
Well,
mister?
and then 5 minutes later, he's holding the phaser on those guys. He's like, I don't know if you read our minds, but we come in peace. It's like, you're holding a gun, a weapon on them.
Well, it's it's a safety precaution, just in case
Sure.
she's dangerous, just in case they're dangerous. Wait till they have the understanding first. Okay, you understand we're not going to hurt you. Okay, I'll put it down.
I also thought Kirk did the thing where when you're talking to somebody who doesn't speak your language, you just get louder.
yeah,
and talk
he
slower.
did do that. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh.
Ugly American in space.
Yeah.
Well, it makes it easier for them to learn what you're saying. When you're enunciating and speaking loudly, now they can. Now, that word you're saying. Okay, I can start to put it together.
Now I get it.
Well, for future, I mean, it's like maybe a couple years down the line, they'll think back and go, oh, so what they were really saying was this word. I know what that means now.
So my favorite sound is repeated multiple times. The little
tricorder.
the medical tricorder. Yeah, not the beep, beep, beep one, but the. I love that sound. I actually wanted to mention that last week, but forgot.
Speaking of that, I like that when Spock is using it and describing McCoy's bodily everything that's wrong in detail, and Kirk's like, "You're not a doctor." I'm like, "Well, I'm pretty sure he's got it down."
He can read it.
Like when McCoy made the medical observation, he's like, in my opinion, not that it matters what my observation is. I'm like,
It does.
that's the whole idea.
You're a doctor.
That's why you're here, theoretically.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't write very many. Most of them were about the rest of you reacting to this.
yeah, I saw my name on your note.
Yeah, so the second one, the one with your name in it, is Jimmy notes that Ozabas or Ozaba.
Ozaba?
Yeah, one of the guys
Played
was
by Davis
captured.
Roberts.
Yeah. His flamenco pose while he was suspended in
Yes.
animation. It's like sort of like
It's an interpretive dance.
yeah.
This is what he's second best known for, playing the mute behind glass.
Oh, is that
What
right?
he's best known for is he played a supervisor in the film Westworld.
Oh, really? Oh,
Nice.
there you go.
So, and same Jason Wingreen, who played the other guy Frozen. This is what he's second best known for. He played a large character in Archie Bunker's Place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Oh, okay. So they were probably other test subjects that she was supposed to have saved, or she wasn't.
that she didn't save.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That she let die. They did not properly educate her
So
in the 10 hours or whatever they had with
Yeah.
her.
I was
'Cause
thinking,
that'll
wouldn't
change
that
the
be a
whole
test
mindset.
failure right there? New gem after this?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, after she fails to save 2 people, you
I
need a new
just-
test.
Although
subject.
they blamed it on the 2 guys, saying
Yeah, they
were,
said they physically weren't up to it or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But I'm like, you gave them almost no time to change her entire mindset
Yeah.
and view of the world.
Okay, actually, that's the thing that bothers me the most. Now that I think about how little sense this testing process makes.
What are you talking about, Keith? It makes perfect sense.
What's the point of they kept saying that she hasn't reached the point yet where she will do this, as if they're training her to do this.
Right.
Shouldn't there just be like a pass-fail test that's sort of
Yes.
one shot and so we're moving on to a different.
But it felt
I
like,
don't-
well, if she dies in their place, then all of her people will know that and learn that they're
Yeah.
supposed to die.
Right.
Just
Right, that's the
Yeah.
part that there we go.
Why didn't
Right,
they
so-
just use her doohickey and implant it in her brain?
Yeah.
Why not just go up to them and say, "Hey, would you
Hey,
sacrifice
what
your
would
life
you-
for somebody?"
All right. Also, did they?
I mean, we're not creepy. We're not really asking you to do it. Just hypothetically, would you do it?
Did they make it clear that they were testing other
No.
worlds of people?
They-
Because
Nope, not at all.
because
Jim was the only one they're going to test.
well, no, I mean other species.
They didn't-
Like
No, they didn't make it clear at all. No, Jim was the only one they were testing.
I thought they alluded to it when they said they were trying to decide which planet to save.
They said that, but they never mentioned.
Is this the only
other
thing?
test
Is
subjects.
this the only
Yeah.
So
deciding?
that's what I'm saying. I guess we should assume there were a bunch of other subjects.
Right. So are they all capable of going through the same type of test. Well, what were they giving the other people to do to test whether or not they were self-sacrificed? So if they couldn't empathically heal
We were
someone.
all empaths.
Maybe-
all the worlds
Yes.
in this area were empaths.
Maybe Lal and Than, their planet, that was their planet. And somewhere else,
Yeah, they all had different.
some other guys are
testers
testing the other
and,
planets. Yeah.
They give them empathic abilities and then see if they'll use them.
As a professional quality assurance tester,
I thought you were about to say empath.
yes, that too. And I feel like they're testing. Where will they get any good testing? I mean, they failed on every chance they had to have a good, clean test.
Yeah, no, they're the slackers in the office.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, they're the guys like, man, we can't screw this one up.
Yeah, let's just fudge the data. Hey, we need you to do this, okay?
Peterson's on my butt about this. we can't screw this up.
Yeah. They've lost all integrity.
Actually, my alternate episode is a sitcom. It's Link and Ozaba, two crazy guys on an outpost. And then they always have these wacky neighbors, Lal and Than, coming over and screwing
They're always
everything up.
freezing them and testing
Yeah,
them
it
somewhere.
always gets crazy, and then at the end, everything's fine. And
See, mine was Scotty on the ship when he said, well, might as well relax. I was like, oh,
And that's
okay.
when we find out that the captain's chair has a footrest.
That has got to be a wacky episode because, you know, a horror wasn't there. I saw in the background.
No,
and
her wasn't in Chekhov.
No,
was it?
Chekhov.
Chekhov wasn't. So it's like, okay, now the wackiness and the wildness comes out.
So the true alternate episode is Uhura and Chekhov going, God, we're not getting involved in this crap. We're just staying away from it.
So Lal and Than Peterson, from the representatives of their planet.
Yeah.
My thought would be we needed to see the other tests. Like the standard test in this situation, just to be like the jigsaw thing. Essentially, you just chain them up in a room, give them a saw or something, or put the two people in a room with a gun. There you go.
I think they do the Woody Allen test from Manhattan, where they just put two people on a bridge and they put somebody in the water drowning, and they see if someone jumps in to save them.
Huh. That'll do it.
Yeah.
I like that
That's actually-
Scotty made an allusion to some other story, and he's like, "What? You guys don't know the story? Let me go ahead and give you the."
I guess that's a
Entire
that's
premise.
it's a biblical story. It's
Yeah.
from the Bible.
Oh.
Okay.
It's,
I
it's
didn't
a
get it.
parable.
There were
from
two
Jesus to
different. There were
Matthew.
two Bible references in this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought that
that's
was very
fine.
There was
interesting.
a
They had
song,
none
yeah.
in all of it, and then all of a sudden,
The pearl
it
thing?
started out,
Yeah.
the pearl, and then at the beginning, the two scientists, Ozama and the other guy, were like,
Ozaba and Link A.
And Link.
Link. I don't know.
they quote an actual Bible verse. I'm like, how
Yeah.
weird is that? And then at the
Yeah,
end, they have
they're all gonna
Scotty,
be atheists.
and then they have Scotty also do a parable. I'm like, what the heck? I mean,
Yeah, I feel like the original series crew were like not overtly, but at least they came across as Christian. Whereas like the later series, they don't even do the
Yeah.
religions.
Much like a foxhole, when you're stranded on a remote planet, there are no atheists.
What was I going to say this? So the pearl thing didn't make any sense to me. It didn't seem to fit what he was taught. Like,
The pearl thing was one of the most sexist things they did in the episode. Like, hey, we'll just sell her. She's like property. Oh, she's expensive.
she's valuable. That's
Yes.
There was
She's a gem.
there was quite a bit of that, and then like when McCoy's like, "What are you doing? Just go heal him." Like it's not going to cause her pain, and
Yeah.
I mean he's supposed to. I don't know.
it's like I kept saying, you don't have to heal him fully, just heal
Right.
him half.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
then
She can't control that?
yeah,
feel
I
she
mean, it's
can-
like
It's
I can
just a
pull
little-
back.
Yeah.
Just a little abrasion on the wrist. They don't need her to work her magic powers.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
you
you're
just-
fine,
you're
buddy.
okay.
Yeah, but with him almost dying, heal him halfway.
Well, that's what they were going to try to tell her to do, but they weren't allowed to.
When I was a little kid watching this with my mom, the guy when he immediately says, "Well, she's failed," I'm like, because she wanted to not be in pain anymore. Oh, thanks. I was so angry with that.
I was going to mention. I guess I forgot to write this down. Just another reason why the test didn't make any sense is why would that be such a selfish thing to do? I mean, why should someone
Give
just
themselves up for
just
somebody else.
I mean, without hesitation, somebody
Yeah.
that they've just met briefly.
Right.
I will give my life for
Yeah,
you.
I will kill
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
just to heal this person.
Yeah.
When, as you're saying, there are plenty of other degrees between that. There should be anyway. There should
Yes. It's for them, it's black and white. Either she heals them or she doesn't, so therefore it's failed.
It's kind of like the walking over the icy bridge and the person in the icy water. I'm not necessarily going to jump in the icy water to save them, maybe, but I'll at least call the 911.
Yeah, see? Exactly.
there's a halfway
There's
measure.
the halfway point
Yeah.
right there. Well,
But actually, it's more reasonable because you're probably not going to be able to save them anyway if you do it.
if
So.
you jump off, you will be in icy water also.
Right.
So therefore, even if you do, if you get hit directly, because if you hit the ice, you might have broken legs.
Exactly.
I mean, any of those things, and
there's-
then you're gonna.
There's other
yeah.
possibilities. There's a spectrum.
I mean, also, it presupposes that she actually understands the concept of going far enough to kill herself. She hasn't died before. I mean, do they teach each other how not to do that, or so?
Well, they kept saying her
body
feeling for self-preservation or something.
Right,
Is
that's
taking over. I'm like, well,
Just
everybody's
like,
does.
If
Exactly.
you will hold your breath long enough and you pass out, you're going to start breathing again.
Right.
I mean, that's what they say with little kids. Like, if they're going to hold their breath
Oh,
until they
right,
pass out,
right.
then once they pass out, they'll start breathing
That's
again.
right.
Don't worry about it.
You know what? If a little kid did that, I'd probably give them the reward because that's pretty ballsy. That's like, if you can actually make it to the point where you pass out just from holding your breath, that's amazing.
That's
See, if
true
they
commitment.
pass out, then you just pick them up and leave, and you don't have to buy them the toy. Then. You're done.
Oh, if we were
This is
throwing a
why-
fit, there's no way we were getting the toy.
Exactly that too.
What do you guys think about the whole speech about how humanity was the best race ever and had all these great qualities?
I have a problem with that
Yeah.
only because of the world we live in currently.
Well, this is the idealistic future. That's what Star Trek's famous for, the utopian version of humanity. Later.
Well, and they've talked about it before, and Spock's like, "Well, you guys were pretty terrible. You kind of got it together, but you were pretty awful." And then again, this episode ends with them like, "Well, what do you think of that, Vulcan?" Blah, blah, blah. It's like,
I'll
which
give
was
it all
great.
the consideration it's due, which,
I thought
you
that
know,
was a
like,
great
if it was
one.
a paper they handed him, it would go right
Yeah, it was just Nimoy was great. And like he did everything short of rolling his eyes, which was great.
Yeah.
I remember I mentioned at the beginning, but I want to touch back on it again. Is this unsatisfactory ending to this? I remember like going to my mom asking, "What kind of ending is that? We don't have an answer. Did she save them? Is this the thing? Is this planet saved now? Is her planet saved? What is
Yes.
happening?"
Well, she passed, right? I think.
Yes.
Right.
I guess that was the point.
That's why.
Passed away or passed the test. So
Passed
She passed the test.
they both look. I mean,
Yeah, it felt like she passed.
So
I
yeah,
don't know that they needed to say that. I did think there was too much exposition in this episode, especially near the end where they're laying it all out there.
yeah.
Like, it would have been better if they let you assume some things.
And the way they went away was weird.
They shrunk.
Yeah. Just pulled the camera back. Why did they just do the bong like they did with
Yeah.
everybody else? I don't understand. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it was more fun.
as we've said in previous episodes, that I have a thing for torture porn. This
Yeah.
is the episode that gave it to me.
Uh,
I mean, that's all I can think of. If I go back in my memory, like being like, yeah, Bo's getting
I want to
tortured.
be hung by my wrists.
I want to see other people. I mean, that's what
You
torture
want to be
porn's
the
all
one
about.
doing the hanging.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about.
and I remembered it being worse than it was. And actually, this is one of the. I think we touched on this during Plato's Stepchildren, but this is one of the episodes that was banned in Britain for
Yes,
like
it
20
was.
some
Yeah,
years because
of the.
the torture and the sadism and
I liked it. So this is one of the things, the trivia from IMDb was the sequence of Jem absorbing the boils. She had to be
Yeah.
strapped to a board in order to, and kept absolutely still while the makeup was applied and stop motion photography was filmed in progression. The few moments that it appeared in the scene took 8 hours to
Yeah.
film. She was
Oh,
strapped.
yeah.
That's
Speaking of-
torture right there.
Yeah, speaking of commitment.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so. Are we into the fashion segment?
Did anyone
Maybe the
notice
fashion.
McCoy had a pinky? Yeah, I
you
guess
talked
that'll
about
take
it,
us
but
into
you-
fashion.
Pinky ring.
Fashion.
Yeah.
I never noticed McCoy having a pinky ring
I
before.
mentioned
Yeah,
that to Keith.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah, I've
Has it
noticed
been-
it before.
yeah.
Yeah, there have been
Okay.
other
I had
episodes.
First time I've
never
seen it.
noticed it before until
Yeah.
because he had his hand up and I was like, oh, there
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah,
Yeah.
this definitely wasn't the first episode.
Yeah.
I don't know he wears it in every episode, but I have noticed it before.
Did you guys like the Vian satiny robes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They looked kind of
Didn't notice.
uncomfortable.
They look
They
like
did
a
look
cheap
great.
version of the Telosians.
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
this
they
was
did.
a cheap
They
version
did.
of the cage.
They did. Yeah, you're right. They did.
Yeah.
And I liked her get up. I like I said, I liked it for what it did for her as far as
Yeah, I liked her.
Making her
I
animal.
liked her outfit.
yeah. Yeah.
I never liked that hairstyle on like any woman. So.
Yeah, well, the super
Yeah, that was a rough outfit. A rough haircut for her. I was just like, I kept looking at it going,
I mean, it was very in style for the times. It's just
Yeah.
not a hairstyle I've
Yeah.
ever appreciated.
I don't even remember what it was. What was the?
Just kind of shorted up.
super
And,
super short.
super short. When the wind was blowing, I noticed that she kept pulling it because it kept flying like this, and she kept like holding it. So she'd try and walk and hold it so it wasn't covering her butt.
Maybe that's why she fell down. It's because she's using all her energy to keep that.
Keeping that. Yeah, I was like, interesting pantsuit with the gauze over top of it, but not my favorite.
Like I said, I thought it helped her give that when she did her gait, all that stuff. So.
Flowiness.
This was written by Joyce Muscat.
Yep.
Was it?
Who was a fan writer.
Yeah.
She was somebody who saw it, like David Gerald and some of those. So I didn't really look at what else she did after this, besides this. But
directed by John Erman, who's known for directing The Outer Limits, The Roots.
He directed an Outer Limits episode, which I guess was very similar to this.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
It looks like he's directed... Oh, he directed Queen. Wasn't that the Roots third part? Alex Kelly's Queen? Maybe. He also directed 3 episodes of Roots Next Generation. So
there you go.
Very into directing Roots. I love Roots, personally.
You don't find that
but this was the only Star Trek episode he directed.
Okay.
you don't find that noteworthy? 2 series that had the Next Generation, like.
There are so many Star Trek actors in Roots. If you watch the Christmas special Roots The Gift, Kate Mulgrew is a slave catcher who catches Avery Brooks and takes him to the plantation where Tim Russ is, and LeVar Burton shows up. And so it's Roots the Gift is basically Star Trek.
Well,
but none of them were in Star Trek yet except LeVar Burton at that point.
Well, that's what's funny. That there must be a link between the.
Oh, there's a lot of Star Trek stuff in Roots.
The names.
Yeah.
Well, and the Next Generation as well. But
Fox says 74.1 solar hours, which I appreciated because, although maybe it doesn't clear it up, because I always ask, when they're like, well, we only have 2 days. I'm like, well, on what planet?
Yeah.
Well, and I also am thinking, okay, they know the sun's going to go nova.
Right.
They've stationed a research base there.
Right.
And the Enterprise is there.
Right.
They should know there's millions of people on these planets. There should be a fleet of starships coming down
There should
evacuate.
be. There should
Like,
be.
even in the Enterprise, like, Kirk's like, we're going to check the research station. You go beam up a couple hundred people from the nearby planet.
Yeah.
Maybe make a call or something.
I do like the idea, and I have it too, is if I took it when he said solar hours, he meant our sun. So, the universe really does revolve around. I realized when I was younger and probably into my 30s or whatever, whenever there was a super loud sound, I would put my hands over my ears and yell, Spock, what is it? From this episode at the beginning when that sound's going off. And I kept, as we've been going through the rewatch, I've been like, oh, we haven't quite got there. We've had some moments where stuff like that's happened. Tonight I was like, this is it. So,
I should have done that on Saturday night.
Spock, what is it?
Oh, God.
That's awesome.
At one point, McCoy said, where's Kirk? Which I thought was weird. Instead of saying, where's Jim? After when he was in his slow motion web. So I thought that was weird. And maybe it was something like, we're not going to edit that out. When Kirk says he's going to stay and the two of them go, I thought that was a good needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few kind of thing. I can't remember if it's McCoy or Kirk who says, how does one get the bends down here? I figured on CD or digital download. It was probably the most appropriate thing to
That was Kirk says it.
Yeah, okay.
McCoy.
Yeah.
Digital download. CDs are gone.
Is that Radiohead or something else?
Radiohead,
Okay.
yeah.
Man. Did they explain it? Is it because of being transported to different depths very quickly?
He said something about the nitrogen, whatever. Okay. So whatever was going on with him. Maybe it's because they were... Is that right before he gets into his... Man wasn't meant to live this far underground.
Yeah.
I think so.
Grumpy old.
And he's a
I'm a
doctor, not a coal miner.
That was what I was going to mention for Jimmy. Well, you're in the kitchen. I don't know.
I heard it.
Yeah. And also, he implied mechanic
Then immediately, I'm not a mechanic.
Yeah. He was like, oh, I can't.
You're a mechanic for bodies.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it back to back. He's like, I don't want to waste it.
It's a Universe Ready reference.
What?
Mechanic for Bodies? The trial for new?
Oh, no, I didn't think about it.
Okay.
This is Forrest Kelly's favorite episode.
It is. Yeah.
Because he had the most to do?
Yeah.
Probably.
And he got tortured. He found out he liked it then.
He healed by a beautiful woman.
Yep.
This is
she almost touched him the whole time.
This is a sports...
Sweat nails.
Sports section of my notes. I like when Kirk gets into soccer talk because he says, I've always heard the best defense is a good offense.
Yes.
Not a good offense, a good offense.
Is that
soccer?
Yeah.
Or football? Football?
Football for.
Is that how they
Muslim.
pronounce it or something? Or?
I just thought that was like the British pronunciation.
Oh, okay.
Offense.
Offense.
Offense rather than offense. So I decided he had to be talking about soccer or football, as everyone else.
Clearly.
He wasn't talking about football or
I was
anything.
going to say, American football, I'm sure, is extinct by the 23rd century.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. And that's all I had. That's all the notes I had.
You know, the aliens came down. They were like, "These people aren't kneeling. What the hell's going on?" I had two left. One of which was just another Marianne, which was.
Oh gosh.
It was funny because you were amused by a Bad Kirk thing with the way he was shouting with only his jaw, like his head wasn't moving. Just
It's like,
At the
oh my
aliens.
god. Yeah, he was shouting at the aliens, and I was just like, dude, this is not helping. Stop.
I think some of the time they used the Day of the Dove kind of thing when they were trapped, and the other times it was just like it just reminded me of the Tron video game when the rainbow traps them, or the red, yellow, blue bars or whatever.
It was the same thing as the guy with the.
hands.
No, I'm trying to.
breasts.
The one with the blind woman. What was the guy's name that was in the box? It was the same.
The Medusan.
The Medusan, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That is what it was. Yep. That same effect.
They just like instead of making it all different colors, they made him blind. It's like a little rainbow.
Yeah.
My last one was at the beginning when they were watching the whoever Ozaba and Link.
Ozaba and Link.
Yeah, on the video, like the diaries.
Yeah.
Getting blinked away. I just once I would like them to say, that's just a camera trick.
They're right there, actually. They're right there. Just go up and touch them.
Well, I think that was where Kirk was like, Spock, what happened? It's like, I am watching it as you are. How would I know what happened?
Science. He's a science officer. He knows more about it. Doesn't even need to do testing.
Just like later when he said, Spock, what is it?
It seems to be some sort of very loud noise.
It's very loud, is what it is, Captain.
It's a loud noise that teleports people places.
That's right.
What?
We just watched it on the TV. I think that's what this is.
This wasn't like the second episode after starting to drink.
That's true. That's a fair point, too.
And I do need to take notes.
I'm a riffer, not a note taker. Yes, I'm
Are we
sorry.
doing notes?
We're done
That's
with
it.
Men, women of Star Trek. Steven, you're still on Falana?
Yeah.
It's gonna stay on.
I don't remember Falana.
It was,
That was last week's
It's all run
episode.
together.
Yeah,
so
it was
Two
much
episodes
fun.
ago.
That was the woman
The
from.
wife of Parman, the
Yeah.
leader of the Plutonians. Oh,
yeah. Barbara Babcock, yeah.
She also had her hair up.
And she was also into torture porn.
Yes, she was.
You're going to
Very
stick with
into it.
Falana? I think I'm going to
Yeah.
stick with Falana too, honestly. No, I am on Dila. I'm not on Falana.
Oh, that's Wink of an Eye, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was last week's, and I don't remember her either. So hang on. I probably shouldn't drink while we do these episodes.
I don't think she's gonna out. I think she'll be better than the one that we had in Gem.
Then Gem. Oh, yeah, I see her now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Dila.
Yeah.
Keith, you have Falana.
Oh, yeah. Seems about right.
You gonna stick with her?
And
I'm
am.
remembering now because of the kinky blonde, etc.
And Marianne is on Alexander.
I'm keeping it on Alexander.
Tron didn't do it for you? Lol.
No. The Coneheads did not do it.
I mean-
we are from France. No, they did not.
Where do we put this episode? Let's start.
Start at the top.
Start at the top?
Yeah.
Let's we start in the middle.
All right. So, all right, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Because
looking.
I can go to the top and go, nope, that's definitely below.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. And I think this is gonna end up in the middle. But okay.
I liked it. It's definitely a 5.
My cursor. Callbacks. The world's inside joke. My cursor was already on the middle episode so far. We've done 11, and right now, right in the middle is the Tholian Web.
Oh, it's better than the Tholian Web. Definitely.
Yeah, I think I like it better than Foley.
Their web was too implied in my taste in this case.
Yeah, no, I
It's a
agree.
slow motion.
I agree.
No, I don't know.
I agree. It belongs above the Tholian Web, so it's in the upper half.
Okay, yeah. Well, I figured it'd be in the upper half.
Day of the Dove is the next one. That's Klingons.
Yeah.
I liked that one.
What number is Day of the Dove?
So far, it's number 5 for this season.
What is 1, 2, 3, 4?
Right now, if we start at the top, is there In Truth No Beauty,
Okay, yeah,
The Enterprise Incident,
Uh-huh.
For the World is Hollow and I Have Touched the Sky, Plato's Stepchildren, Day of the Dove.
Okay. Then yes, I'm definitely putting this one at 4 or 5. I'm okay with either because I like Day of the Dove, but I also like this one a lot too.
I like this one, but I would put this one at 6 under Day of the Dove, honestly. But above Killing the Web. I don't know. What do you guys think? Above or below Day of the Dove?
God, I would probably. I mean, the Klingons on the ship and everything. The whole thing.
I forgot we already played a stepchildren that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
The Platonians.
That's the one with the interracial kiss.
Right. Yeah. Yes, I know. This didn't really feel better than.
I forgot what you put it that high too. I'm like, wait a second, let's go back.
Yeah, why is Day of the Dove below Play a Stepchildren?
I don't know how that happened.
Because we all gave it, put it before it, but you were the only one. You were the one dissenter, and so it moved up above Day of the Dead. Or that was our.
I can't wait till we listen to that. To listen to that
So
episode.
I wouldn't be able to overrule it myself. We'd have to have.
Yeah,
because Sam was here too, and she rated it above.
So Sam and I thought it was above?
No.
Okay. Because I couldn't overrule several other people. There would have had to be somebody that
No, it was, we all thought it was better than Day of the Dove, and you were like, no, it's definitely worse than it.
Oh!
See, I think this was a recency bias thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, I said it was worse. You guys thought it was better. Gotcha. I want to hear Stephen and Keith's thoughts.
I just didn't like this one that much, I guess. I don't know. It didn't...
But did you like it better or worse than the Klingon episode?
Man, this is another one where it's like I said at the top, I loved all the interplay with the three main guys.
See, I think on an emotional, immediate level, this works, but this is so easy to pick apart and fall apart. Whereas I feel like Play a Stepchild and Day of the Dove were a little more cohesive.
All right, you convinced me.
Oh, You're changing your vote?
I'm changing my vote. I want it below
Day of the
Dove. Yeah.
Okay, but above Killing the Web. We're agreed there.
Yes.
Yeah, we're agreed it belongs to the top half of the season.
Yeah. And I really want to reevaluate Plato's Stepchildren now. As much as I...
You know, I do think I like that episode.
At the time, it seemed better than it does right now. I don't know. I can't remember.
I think I'm thinking about it like I used to think about.
Well, we we're defaulting back to thinking of the kiss primarily, and we agreed during the discussion the kiss really didn't matter. The rest of the episode was interesting.
Now I am remembering exactly why. Yeah, because of how they treated Alexander.
Yeah.
That's
Alexander. Yeah. Okay.
The dwarf.
Right.
Yeah, that was really good episode.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. Now I'm back. I understand.
I
think I was the dissenter on that one.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think you were. I think you didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm comfortable with this being behind Day of the Dove.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna Keith. You want to jump in?
No, that's it.
I mean, you could convince us. I convinced Marianne. Maybe you could convince her otherwise.
No, I agree.
Okay, good. So Empath, putting it number 6.
Right in the middle.
The middle, right? It and the Flowing Web are both the middle right now. But it's the upper side. But next week we have Alana Troyes. And will that be up or down? We'll have to wait and find out. I'm thinking down, but we'll see.
We're going to have to miss it, but...
I think so too. But
I don't have good impression.
I remember loving the actress Francais Nguyen.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it being a great episode.
Big thank you to our editor, Chris Allen, for editing this and all of our episodes.
We love you, Chris.
And I guess we'll be back next week for Alana of Troyes, which is clearly a play on Helen of Troy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Presuming we pass the test and save our planet.
Yep.
We probably won't.
It depends on who they pick.
We probably won't. I mean, if they pick an American, we've got a 42% chance. Never mind. Have a good week. Live long and prosper. It's All Been Done presents.
Who's got the time?